All right, folks. Good morning on Saturday. We're going to get started this morning with the final steps here on working on our Amorites. Last little bit. The camel core. Baggage camels. All right. Let's do this little guy first. There's some spears and so forth on here. It's a lot of them, actually. And some quivers also. Let's go ahead and do the quivers first. It's the only quivers on this, right? Okay, yep. All right, let's go mix up some quiver colors. All right, let's do this color right here. Oh, no, this is not the color I thought it was. Well, it could have worked, but it's not what I had in mind. Where is this stuff? I got some paint stuck on this brush. Let's see if we can get that out. Using this stuff more than ever before, it seems to make a difference. And it will just about take all the paint off. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really reshape the brush. Doesn't matter if you brush this stuff on and leave it overnight. Once it gets that twist in it, you might as well just kiss it goodbye. You're never gonna get that back out. There we go. Works pretty well. It doesn't necessarily smell. It doesn't smell unpleasant either, which is kind of unusual. Would have thought that something that effective would would have smelled worse, for sure. Okay. Slow morning this morning. Got on for a little bit last night and actually surprised how many people were there. That was cool. I wasn't expecting that. All right, do we have any white that's alive? Probably not. This might be it. Barely. Barely. It's really hard to do defletching on arrows and then get out of the habit of doing it in white for me. It's just really strange. There he is, Peter. Boy, you're not getting any sleep either. Well, I don't know if you have the day off today, but sometimes it doesn't matter if you don't get any sleep on the day off because you could just take a nap if you need to. I actually had to do that last weekend. Or the weekend before last. I forgot which one it was, but I actually took a nap, which is unheard of for me. I only take a nap on a cruise ship. Then it turns one day into 2 days. Then you get twice as many days on the ship. You know, psychologically anyways. See if I can get a brush with a little bit more control on it. Yeah, there was a lot of people on last night. I was surprised. I thought I was just going to get on there and yammer on a little bit. And, well, I did that obviously, but I did that, and then I realized this morning when I was getting myself some tea before I was getting ready to go on, I was talking about my light horse. I only need 6 of them, but somehow I was thinking I needed 10. I don't know. I was up past my bedtime, which lately has been, that one's no good. That one's not any thinner. Which has been earlier and earlier each day, it seems like. Yeah, let's try this one. Let's try this one here. You've dedicated my life to watching you. Well, not to pat myself on the back, but there's worse things you could be doing. There are worse things you could be doing. It's the least you could do. I've dedicated my life to being me. I was just telling somebody the other day, I was like, if I didn't have to work, I got plenty of stuff here. I got plenty of stuff here to keep me busy. It may get old and may get bored, but I got plenty of stuff to do. Not one of those older people that, not that you're one of them, but one of these older people that just sit around and watch television. That's not me. Today's project is to sort my Romans into armies. Wow, you got that many, huh? Wow. I haven't painted Romans in a long time. Not anything against them, just... I have 2 Roman armies done. My Polybian and my Marian. And 2 Roman armies to do, if you don't call Byzantines Romans, which I tend not to. I have figures for, I'm sorry, did I say 2 Roman armies to do? I meant 3. I have early Imperial Romans that I got a long time ago. A long time ago, probably 20, no, not 20 years ago, but 15 years ago. I got them as a prepackaged army from Old Glory. One of the vendors at our shows likes to do what I like to do, which is get a bunch of figures together and put army packs together. And he put together a 256 early Imperial Roman army using Old Glory figures. I have them, and I have a late Imperial West and late Imperial East army to do. But all those are armies that other people that I play with regularly have now. So not a big incentive in doing them. I need to find a brush that's smaller. It's just not. None of these seem to have the tip that I'm wanting. Okay. Never really played Romans before DBA. Never really watched movies with Romans before I got into DBA. Unless you call Ben-Hur one of them. That'd be the only one, but never seen any of those old movies with had Romans in them. Just didn't appeal to me. When I was first painting some of my first Roman armies, I was actually, when I was painting my Marian Romans, is when I was watching the Rome miniseries. So that was pretty cool to do that at the same time. I think that was about the time that it came out too. You have surplus painted figures that I've kept in a case. If I ever do large game, let's see if I can put together duplicate armies which I want to gift my friends in Canada. Excellent. I take it you're coming over to Canada soon, or have been. I don't know how your travel restrictions are. I got to go out of the country towards the end of this month. We'll see how that goes. Not really looking forward to the hurdles that might have to jump through. Okay, maybe one, lighten it up a little bit. It's probably not going to pop until we get some other things on here. Okay, this thing has a lot of like javelins and such. Straighten this thing out. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the arrows at the top, and then we're done with these. These right here. First, I need to reduce my honeydew list. I have to buy some stain to paint a playhouse in the backyard. You're in Canada in October, going back for a visit in March. Okay. Looks like it's allowed now. Okay, this needs to be trimmed. These cheap ass Chinese brushes have all kinds of quality control problems. Here we go. All kinds of quality control problems. All right, let's get a color that looks like this. Good morning, Kevin. I think it's time change this weekend. Isn't that tomorrow? Fall back. We get an extra hour. Or we get our hour back that was taken from us. Rudely taken from us. I think Arizona doesn't follow that. Or Arizona doesn't. Arizona does something weird with the time zone where I think they don't follow it, or that used to be the case. I don't know. I just think they should just pick one time and leave it alone. I don't care which one it is. You need 2 shots and a negative PCR test. I take it you mean that you've already had your 2 shots, so you get 2 new ones? Yeah, I'm afraid of the test. I'm afraid of the test when I leave the other country to come here. 'Cause I just don't trust them to do it right. I mean, what's their incentive in doing it correctly? They'll just get to resell your plane ticket if you're positive. I'm not afraid about getting anything. I'm just afraid of, the person on the other end just saying, "Nah, you can't leave." And what do you do? Oh well. I guess in that case the party continues. I don't go back to work. I'm not afraid about getting anything. I just had blood work done from the doctor, and they said that I'm good to go for no other reason, just routine stuff. They said, "Oh, we'll check your antibody thing too." I'm like, "You got lots." And I'm like, I would have liked to have known if I would have gotten them naturally, because I'm sure I'm in contact with all that stuff, but no way to know whether you got it because of immunization or because you fought it off successfully. Just not thrilled about somebody giving you a test and their competency level / nah, we don't feel like letting you go on that plane. We want to resell that ticket, so you can't leave. Oh, but not afraid enough that I'm not going to travel. So I'm really not looking forward to the new alcohol policy that I understand aircraft have. As it used to be, there's like a burr on here. Yeah, we don't need to have that on me when. There we go. Geez, what crappy brushes these are. I've actually never encountered this. A brush with burrs on it. See if I can use one of my tricks. All right. As we were. And of course, I don't know what the hell I was talking about, but typical. That's typical for me. The new me. Yeah, see, I was talking about doing the quivers, and now I'm painting this stuff. Oh, well, it all has to be painted. It's best not to have any plans, any firm plans. And things are just going to go sideways. There you are, the Wolfman. Wolf Gaming Store. Welcome. I'd say the world of tomorrow, but it's already the same day here, so we finally caught up. I wonder when they did the time zone. Well, it was probably somebody in Greenwich, right? Somebody in the UK that decided who was what day of the week. And they were living on Monday or something like that. And maybe they just decided, well, from now on, the people on the other side of the world, they're a day ahead. And they took a day away from them. Just like that. Things nobody's ever thought of before. The land of Hot Wheels. I think we established that. Hot Wheels are from Malaysia, and Thailand gets Matchbox. At least nowadays. Although, I have an old Matchbox that I picked up recently from eBay. I wanted this. This is for one of my Gaslands builds. And this is actually from 1977. And it says made in, that's right, China. So, I didn't think that would make any of those were made in China, or the Johnny Lightnings made. Ooh, I think the Johnny Lightnings were made in China. Yep, the Johnny Lightnings are made in China. I didn't buy that one recently though. The Chinese ban's only been in place since COVID here, so should have been earlier, but you know, hindsight 2020 and all that. What do I think of the Warlord Games Epic Napoleonics? I don't know anything about them. Are they like a smaller scale? Are they like 12 millimeter or something? With that name, I would have thought that that's the case. I'm not really in the Napoleonic arena. Although I'll be honest with you, I have been watching some Napoleonic figures on eBay, thinking about getting them, but that's only because they're from my favorite sculptor at Old Glory. But I watch a lot of things and don't bid on things. Half the fun sometimes is just finding something and then never purchasing it because it's nothing I need. I've got pretty good self-control now. I feel bad buying something and never doing anything with it. Unless it's really, 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 really cheap. Like this particular figures I'm painting now, these camels, I don't know how long I've had them. I'm sure they're from a garage, not a garage sale, a flea market at a show. But I don't mind buying these for damn near pennies and then sitting on them for a decade. Although the intent wasn't to sit on them, but you know, things happen. Uh, 10 millimeter. Did a video on Bacchus 6 and had fun learning about the Williamite Glorious Revolution. I saw you put a video, or it came up on my feed yesterday evening before I was going to go on, that was that you had some 6 millimeter troops. I'm going to check that out at some point. The stands look at a distance, they look really good. And you know, I am a fan of figures looking like they're playing pieces because that's ultimately what they are. And my only problem with 6 millimeter would be getting in between the figure's legs when you're doing the grass. when you're doing the flocking, getting in between all of them. I think that would be a nightmare for me, but this is just brainstorming. I'm sure I'd probably figure out if I did it. Many, many years ago, many years ago, like 1990, 1991, there was a guy that was running some of the first miniatures I ever played with at the local hobby store. And he had done Napoleonics in 6, Adler or Bacchus or whichever one he was using. I'm not really familiar with 6mm, and we used to call them the ants. But they look good in mass. Approximately 13.5mm. Must be to the top. Welcome, Gregory. I got all the Napoleonics I could ever want over at Mitch's house. Between him and Joel, they either have everything in, like, for Napoleon's battles or DBN. So I didn't have a lot of interest in painting Napoleonics to begin with. Not really my period. Nothing particularly that I disliked that period, just not my period. I can't be involved in everything. And they already have it all. So there's kind of the whole, not a big reason to do that for me. Come really close to pulling the trigger on a couple things, but after you've bought so many things, and I shouldn't say so many things because as far as gamers go, I don't have very many games. I try to learn from other people's mistakes, right? But there's things I've bought and never done anything with them. And it feels bad. It feels like, I could have bought something else that would have been more useful. Like throwing money away. And after doing that a few times, I'm really careful about what I purchase. I'll look at it and go, there's 2 board games in particular that I've wanted to get my hands on, and I've kind of talked myself out of them, both. Not because I wouldn't have a good time, but just for playability. After I played it one time, I wonder, man, I really wish I wouldn't have spent this money on this. So I do a pretty good job of talking myself and getting myself into trouble. Just like I know some people that are just spendaholics. I don't want to have something that I bought and never did anything with. So now here's the kicker going to be. So these are camels that are for my Amorite army, my Amorite camp, right? And they have these javelins there. The javelins have some kind of a metal tip. So if I do them specifically for the Amorites, I would use my Bronze Age mix. But if I was doing them, use these for some of my Middle Eastern armies, they wouldn't use Bronze Age. So what color should I do the tips? I think I'm going to do the mix. They appear to be at a rather unique scale. I don't know why people do that. I'll never understand that. You know, and I think the first scale that really happened that way was 10, right? There was no 10 millimeter for a long time. And then they added, somebody makes things in 12. And it's like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, it's their business. They can do it however they want. Started with Napoleon Battles, and I did 15 millimeter. Believe it or not, many years ago, I actually had a copy of Napoleon's Battles as well. And I had picked up some Prussians, 1813 Prussians, and I painted, I don't think I painted anything successfully. There was a group that had played the game a couple times. I went and played with them one time and never played with them again, but that was enough to get me to, I'd picked up some battle honors. That's what it was. It was battle honors. This was probably 1995. Battle honors Prussians. I picked up 2 packs of infantry and a pack of the guns, and they were primed in white. That tells you how long ago it was, or I was priming something in white. And one of the first things I sold on eBay when I started selling things off at the beginning of the 2000s, I didn't sell that many things. I didn't have that many things to sell off, but there were just some things I was just never going to get around to, and that was one of them. And never finished any of the infantry. Of course, I was painting all 24 figures at once. That system just doesn't work for me. It works for other people, doesn't work for me. And I had a pack of cannons, and I had a pack of the Prussian infantry. I got Prussians because none of the other people had them. So I'm like, we'll go ahead and do them. Nope, never did anything with them. Fail. I was all hot and heavy to do some figures for Maurice, and I realized I'm going to have to paint over 100 figures that are all infantry and all behave the same in the game. I don't want to do that, you know? I don't want to do that. That's like 2 DVA armies. And then I've played the game 2 or 3 times now. And you know when you play something for the first time, you're like, man, this is great. And then the more you play it, you just you start kind of seeing I just start seeing the writing on the wall. Like a lot of the battles are going to be a lot of the same thing over and over again. And I just kind of like, I'm good. A lot of the battles would just turn up being the same thing over and over again. And I don't really have the time. I don't really have the time. It'd be like if I sat down and painted a bunch of Greek armies for like the Peloponnesian War and stuff. I was painting different ones. I mean, after you paint the Athenians and you paint the Spartans, it's just everything else is just more of the same. And I don't want to have to paint over and over more of the same stuff. I want some variety. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. Are green light die-cast cars made in the U.S.? I don't know. I would hope so, as expensive as they are. You did not need to have a test to come back home to Germany. The USA may be different. Yeah, I don't know what it is. You're looking at the DBR rule book a few days ago. Have I tried? I have the DBR book and all the Army books. I have not tried it. I used a good bit of it is inspiration to work on some other stuff, but I just don't have it in me to learn another set of rules written by Phil Barker. It's just too upside down, and I don't need that kind of a headache. That doesn't mean his rules aren't good. I'm just saying that this whole trying to figure out the lack of punctuation, they're just they're not explained properly. And, I've stuck with DBA, but I'm not going to learn any of his other rules because I'm going to get them wrong 100 times before I get one right. And that's just really, really unsatisfying to play a set of rules not as they're intended. And I'm not going to learn how to play another set of rules that involves conforming the way DBA does it. I think it's very alien and weird. So, if I was going to play a set of Napoleonic rules, Renaissance rules, it's almost easier just, I'll just make my own rules. Now, I get around to doing it, but at least I won't be confused. And as I've gotten older, that's become even more prevalent. And it's not because I need to play simpler rules, because a lot of people, as they get older, they'll play bigger figures and rules that are less complicated. I'm fine with the rules being complicated. I just don't need a headache trying to figure out what the hell a sentence means. That was never the case before I played any of Phil Barker's stuff. I never got a headache trying to figure out what Avalon Hill rules said. It was easy to discern what they were trying to get at. So that's the effect. That's the DBA effect it's had for me. I guess it's kind of been a negative effect, but I just don't want to read rules and learn how to play them. I've just done too much of that. So I got a set of modern rules here called Shipwreck, and I've got some modern ships in 6000s. I got some Chinese and some Japanese and some Taiwan ships as well that I haven't painted yet. But I got the Chinese and the Japanese done. They're cute little things. And I got this set of shipwreck rules to play them with. And I just can't get motivated to sit there and read the rules. I just have zero incentive. And that didn't used to be the case 20 years ago. Okay, John Peter. Catch you next time. Warlord Games Black Powder is quite simple. Yeah, so the rules for Maurice, for instance, aren't very complicated. But it just seems really generic. Like, I don't know. It's not that I want the rules to be complicated. I want them to be explained clearly. And I don't know. It just happens because you're older and you've seen things, how they've turned out before, and you're like, nah, I don't need to do that. And the same thing happens with video games. Some video game will come out, and they had a big sale on what game that I was going to pick up? Ultimate Admiral, Age of Sail. Now, Age of Sail is not my period, not by a long shot, but that game looked like it had some interesting things in it. But I watched a couple of the demos, and then I went through my head what the gameplay would be like, and I just talked myself out of it. I've done this before. I've done all of this before. And I can already see playing this for 45 minutes and be like, man, I wish I hadn't wasted that money. So I just talked myself, and it's going to keep me from painting, doing this, which is what I need to be doing. So, I don't know. I think it's a good thing. You mature and you realize, I've done that before. It really didn't work out for me, so I'm good here. I'm happy with what I have here. that done, let's paint these shields up. And it's really hard to learn how to play something by yourself. Now, it just really is. It's just not worth it. So the way to do it would be like, all right, let me bring over the rules to Mitch and we'll just read through them together and figure out how to play it. Because I'm not one of those people that wants to learn how to play the game first so that I have an edge on trying to beat Mitch or something. I would much rather us figure it out on our own and, discover things together. I'm just not one of those people. And I know that there's lots of people that are that way. As I can tell you, as playing DBA, there's people that were really good at playing DBA, and it just sure seemed like they didn't want to give anything away so that they could use it against your opponent. And I'm just not that person. I think that the part of gaming that makes it interesting is that discovering things and being surprised by stuff. You want to feel like you're making an intelligent decision when you're making decisions in the game, but I'm not one of those that I need to put one up over on somebody. I don't need to beat the person I'm playing with so bad. Now, if it's somebody I need to beat that badly, then it's probably somebody who's unpleasant, and I probably shouldn't be playing with them in the first place. So, your results may vary. That might not be your opinion, but that's certainly mine. I had a guy I used to play with, and he did not like any surprises or aha moments. So everything that he did was basically almost scientific. Like he almost knew how it was going to turn out. If I know how something's going to turn out, I'm not going to play it. That's just a waste of my time. Okay, we got those two shields. We might mess with those a little bit more. We've got another one here. We're going to do that one, and we're going to do this one in a lighter color, so it pops a little bit. Let's do something like this. I don't mind losing anybody that I'm playing with. There's some people you don't want to lose a game to because they're a butthole, but they're not in my game group. Dirk, there you are. You started with DBR, entered a comp, never played the rules, 6 games in 3 days. Wow. I did check out that comedian you told me about, Sean Locke. He's hilarious. Yeah. Didn't know he died. Man. Way too young for that, but he's hilarious. Enjoy that. Thanks for the recommendation. Had him written down here. I remembered. It's really strange to spell his last name without adding an E to it, though. Or not spelled L-O-C-H. He's funny. All right. God, I'm just painting so thin these days. What's up with that? What is up with that? All right, let's put that thing away. Maybe that's not doing me any good. Not doing me any favors. I don't think this is the right color to begin with. I don't think the skeleton bone's the right color. I think it's too bony looking. Let's grab this buff color. I agree that there's a multiplicity of rule sets out there. A lot of them appear to involve casting mega handfuls of dice. I come from a background of percentile. So when I started playing DBA and there's only one die and it's a 6-sided, I'm like, oh, this is for children. And I've just kind of... that mentality of mine has kind of disappeared. I don't feel that way anymore. It's just kind of... I wish the game had more detail in combat. But again, I've never played a game where you had to roll to see what you could do. Well, how many pips did you roll? What do you mean? I can't move everybody every turn? No. Oh, man. Well, now I like that. I wouldn't dream of doing it any other way. So, your tastes evolve. The D6 allows less foregone conclusions than, say, if you were using a D10 or a percentile. Another thing you got to consider, if this guy is carrying stuff across the desert, and he's carrying these things frequently, there's a good chance that some of these are going to have a really bleached look. Because, it's the desert. Alright, this shield has a center boss on it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with doing that in bronze. Let's just do that. We'll come back with a Nuln Oil wash on that little... Now, what are all these, rutabagas that this guy's carrying around on him? There's all these little... There's 3 round things there. There's another one bouncing up here on the back. I don't know what the hell it's doing. Let's go ahead and paint the tarp underneath. I think something reddish might add a little bit of color to it. As much as I want to work on the new army next, I need to get through these guys, because I know once I start going down that road, I'm not going to want to go back to this and fool with this, with these troops. And I need a baggage element for collision course. Alright, so of course we've got red, but we're not going to use that just like that. We're going to... I think my black died. It doesn't look very alive over there. Okay. So as I mentioned yesterday, there won't be any Sunday painting tomorrow. Not in the morning anyways. Probably not at all. I've got to help somebody set up for an art show. I was supposed to do that this morning as well, but it got rained out. We've got, I think a little while ago, it was raining and 49 degrees. What is it? It's still 49 and raining. So, yeah. We have what is termed the soft pillow of death, which is a large number of poor quality troops which suck you in, eventually overlap you, and throw a good combat die. Soft pillow. Bring the comfy chair. So I think this is part of this tarp as well, maybe. A lot of times when you paint these things, you have to figure out exactly what exactly it is that I'm painting. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to discern that until you start getting in there and start isolating. Well, this is that. Let me paint that color. This is that. And like, oh, I forgot this one thing. This is part of it as well. It happens from time to time. Oh. Yeah, painting's going to be weird in November. For sure. It's going to be weekends I'm not here. There's going to be, I think next week I won't be available on Saturday morning. Or the following one. So, we'll just see how it pans out. This is the crazy time of the year. You take all the vacations you haven't taken. Give me a little bit more color, then we'll start turning on the white. Start fading this. Okay, now we'll start turning on this color, and it doesn't matter if it's a little pinkish because it's going to fade in the desert. And pinkish is a manly color in this part of the world at this time. Give it a little bit more white. Oh man. November for me is wife's birthday month. She celebrates the whole month, huh? Yeah. It's anniversary month. We usually travel around Thanksgiving and usually travel after Christmas. Almost guaranteed every year. Sometimes the Thanksgiving trip rolls in early December, so December's a little bit more busier. Yeah. Yeah, they moved Historicon in November. Doesn't matter, I wasn't going to go. But, yeah, not going to conventions in November. Sorry. Even if somebody said, you could go ahead and go, I wouldn't go. It's just too complicated. It's too difficult to take that much time off. And all kinds of gunk on the side here. Yeah, November's way too busy. Wife's birthday month. That's right, the whole month. It doesn't look too bad. This should be dry. We should be able to drop a little bit of Nuln Oil on there. Let's go ahead and do that before we forget. All right, I don't know if that even makes that much of a difference, but I tried. All right, where to next? I don't know what color to paint these little road apples. I have no idea what the hell they even are. Let's just kind of do an in-between nondescript color. Nope, not that color. Yeah, I guess we'll use the Russian brown. Get some painting done at some point. Yeah, I got sucked into watching videos. Sucked into watching videos. Or get sucked into watching. What are those stupid things on Facebook called Reels? It used to be you had to go to TikTok to see those things, and I don't do any of that stuff. But now they put them on Facebook and they freaking find you. The next thing you know, you spend a half hour looking at that. And most of this stuff is stuff I'm not even interested in. Here we go. Let's get this old bit of paint off. Coat the arms. I'm going to buy more of these when I come across a place that has them, in person. If I ever do. Let's get a little more here so I can put this thing away. Add a little bit of color here. I was talking to somebody a while ago and they said that they didn't paint because they found it frustrating. I said, well, then you probably don't need to paint because this should be the opposite of frustrating. It should be relaxing. This is frustrating. I wouldn't do it. This is therapy. May not be quick therapy, but it's therapy. All right. Looks like we got about everything on here. Just about everything on here. Just about. I got this one spot on that javelin I need to fix. I already pulled buff out here? Yeah, I did. All right, let's just go over it with buff. That should work. Taking the old figures challenge. How'd they turn out? I like old figures. I think they paid up just fine. I think they just paint up just fine. Old figures from the 70s. Before I even knew about wargaming. Nope. I need to leave that on there and not wipe it off. There we go. Okay, that's better. Maybe even take it a step further. Old minifigs. I guess the minifigs I'm used to, I guess, are technically not the old minifigs, because I thought mine were from the 80s, but I guess they may not be. They may be from the 90s. It's the one I like. The strip minifigs, yeah, I don't know anything about those guys. That's well before my time. All right, we're gonna do anything about these two shields, because I'm not really loving the color, the way they turned out. Let's see if we can't tinker with them a little bit without changing the base color. You got some old laser burn. Games Workshop Flyman figure. I have a Games Workshop figure. Actually, this is Citadel. I painted this probably around 1989, maybe 88. It even tells you what it is. See what it says. It's a 1985 Games Workshop 1985 figure. Oh, look. It's a wolf. Is what your game store is named after there. Yeah. I think it came with multiple of them, but they just kind of disappeared. But this is a long time ago. This is probably the first thing I dry brushed when I found out about it. But yeah. And I remember when I first saw these stands, I thought they were really unique. Really unique looking. So, there's my Games Workshop story. That's all I have. I don't even know why I even had that, but that was a long time ago. Citadel figures. It took me a long time to not call them Citadel. I think Citadel's a better name than Games Workshop. Okay, I need to get more liquid. I'll be right back to go screw with these two shields. I'm talking about these two little brown ones that are there. We're going to leave one as is, and we'll change the other one a little bit. Yeah, back when I bought that Citadel figure, there was Grenadier, Ral Partha. Was never a fan of Ral Partha. Still, some of their styling was just weird. I guess they used multiple sculptors, so maybe not fair to say that I dislike all Ral Partha figures. Had some conquistadors in 25mm scale from Ral Partha, and I never liked the way the sculpting on them was. 25mm hinge clips. That's way before my time. All right. Let's change up this shield back here. Take the same color. Let's add some of this to it. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Let's look at that. Yeah, a little bit better. And we got 3 shields that are different colors. Oh, we do need to come back and touch that up, this one up. we never painted the fringe on this camel a different color. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to do that in white. He's got something around his muzzle. Just going to go ahead and do that in white as well. Sometimes it's better not to be too creative and put it on there, see if it looks okay. You can always take it off and modify it if you need to. All right. Good night, Gregor. Thanks for coming by. We're going to call this guy done. Move him off to the side. He can go hang out with the other camels, which have a lot of accoutrements on there. A lot of bags. All right. Pick the yellow one. We'll do the yellower one first. Not necessarily what I want to be doing right now, but it's just part of the deal. You started it, need to finish it. So let's see if we can use, let's pull another color out here, because I knew I wanted to use this color. This is another coat the arms color. I guess it's hiding all the way in the back. Well, I thought it was there. It's in the wrong place. This color right here. Field drab. We're going to attempt to paint both the stuff on both camels at the same time. We'll see how this works out. Because these guys have all packs. This is just packs upon packs upon packs and sacks and packs and sacks. So, and not only did the nib break down on this and the joint between them, but there's actually a crack in this lid. I don't know if you can see that, so I got to be careful with this one. It's about half full of paint, maybe even a little bit more than half, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But it happened a while ago. Packs and sacks. All right, we're going to start off with mixing some black into this. And this sack has been volunteered to be this color. It was really only Hinchcliffe or minifigs. Wow, that's crazy to just have two. Hinchcliffe never made 15s, did they? I don't think they did. I've never seen Hinchcliffe 15s. And this sack will also be the same color, at least initially. And then this one as well. You're a Hinchcliffe man. Hinchcliffe man. Okay. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but like I said, I'd like to get it right on the first try, but Sometimes you gotta tinker with it, like I did with those shields on the last camel. A lot of it helps is what colors do you not want to use. Like I don't want to use blue. I don't want to use green as any of these things. Brighten that one up. Yeah, I don't know why I had trouble counting light horse last night. 3 stands of light horse is 6 figures, not 10. All right, let's grab what other color we have here. We have a brown. Let's go ahead and grab that. These should be easier to paint than the other ones because they don't have like a little tarp that all this stuff is sitting on. So just a matter of just painting all the packs you have and going from there. All right, let's grab this brown one. And then we'll do the same, we'll do this sack over here. Sacks of crap sacks. I don't even know who makes these camels. I have no idea. Somebody doesn't have pictures of them online. That's who. Somebody who doesn't have pictures of them online. or I would have seen them before. Scott Gregory, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good morning so far. Did it warm up a little bit? Nope, still 49 degrees and raining. Yeah, it's pretty cold for rain. This part is particularly boring. This is particularly boring. But just one of those things. Hey, can I put a camp with only one camel on it? Just move on. All right, let's grab a little bit of white. What are you painting today? Well, I'm painting the last. I got one of the camels already done this morning. Painting the other two baggage camels for this camp for the Amorites. And then they're done. And then we're going to roll into the Valachians. Or as people like to call them, the Transylvanians. Which is technically not accurate. So, Dracula's army. That's what the plan is. The unplanned plan. If I don't fall asleep first. Gee whiz. Whew, there's like no end of packs. No end to these packs. Yeah, we're going to need some lighter color ones for sure. Let's do this big one is going to be a lighter colored one. And then this one back here, and it still leaves two other bags. All right. I'm like in dire need of some caffeine is what I feel like. go about a project with planned set of armies to do, meaning paired armies. Generally, no, I do not do that. I generally kind of go with, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason. I've been talking about doing the Dracula's army for a while. It's an enemy of my Turks. It's an enemy of my Hungarians. See, here's one of those situations where you realize you'd painted things wrong. This is actually the same pack all the way across. It's just thrown across it. But yet down here, I've already painted half of it. No. It happens. Trying to figure out where one of these things starts and the other one ends. But no, I don't build things in match pairs. Because by the time I'm done painting something, I want to paint something else that's significantly different. So, now I have done that in the past. I did build my feudal Spanish in the next army. I did right after them is the Berbers. And then who was number 3? Koreans. The Koreans. Then I need the Hindu. Then I did the Chinese to do the Koreans that fought the Koreans. So I guess at that point I had 2 match pairs and a single one. So yeah, I've kind of done stuff like that a little bit. My Armenians and my Marian Romans can fight each other. I painted them, I think, back to back. But I don't have an enemy for my samurai. And I think about 2010, after the samurai, I didn't do things in pairs at all. So I've got some that do fight. I've got my later Spanish and my Italian wars French. They're enemies of each other. But generally, I don't go about it that way because I want to paint something significantly different. Or I don't paint them back to back. I may go back and paint a couple of armies, then go paint the enemy of one of them. So, all right. I need to wake the F up or I'm not going to make it. I am not going to make it. How long have we been on here? An hour and a half? Now I'm 45 minutes. So lots of people paint in pairs. It just doesn't work for me as I want to paint something totally different. These guys, I saw the figures that Joe used for some of the spearmen in this army, Amorite, and I went and bought them. They jumped the queue in front of everybody else. So sometimes you think you're going to be working on A, B, and C, and then you end up doing A, B, Q, and then, D. So I try not to think too much about what army I'm going to do until it's time to... It's not true. I do think about it. I just try not to make a decision until it's time to make a decision because it changes. It's half the fun trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Fine, I purchase figures in match pairs, but like you, I get bored and need to switch things up. So Romans, then medieval, chariots, then Germanic. Yeah, exactly. You can come back to the Germans after the Romans, but that fight the Romans, but you just don't have to do them next. Do a couple armies, do something different in between them. Well, my stomach at least isn't bothering me. That's that part. We got that over with. I may have to take a little break from this. You know, I'm gonna do that and see if I can wake myself up a little bit. See, just like I should still be able to get those guys done today, I would think. All right, let's take these guys. Let's park them over here for a little bit. Let's pull out some Transylvanians. I'm sorry, Wallachians. We gotta base these guys on pennies and clean them up and stuff. So maybe that'll wake me up a little bit. If not, we'll go take a nap. Let's get my used penny collection here. Are the discs in there too? Or there's somewhere else? The discs are wooden discs. They get reused and stuff. All this stuff is reusable. Let's move all this stuff off to the side. All right. And we're gonna need the container that has, what the hell is this? It's a war wagon. We're gonna need a container that has all the needles and such. More pennies and stuff. Oh, jeez. All right, where's the bag that has all the needles? So let's take a look at this light horse. Take a look at these light horse. Why do you call the pennies when you use cents? Do you the contact info on the man who sold your terrain fields at the Historicon conventions? Okay, let me see if I can figure out what you're trying to say. Do I have the contact info on the man who sold my terrain fields at the Historicon conventions? Oh, okay. Okay, so no, I don't, because he was selling in a flea market, and you're talking about the little squares and stuff I use. You can make them yourself though. All you gotta do, all they are gift cards or key cards for hotels or anything like that. Stuff like this. And just run some spackle on it. And I think he used like a trowel, so it made little marks on it. And he just painted and sprinkled. That's all they are. But no, I don't know I have no idea who he is. He was a guy that was a flea market. And it was many years ago. why do I call them pennies when they're mounted on, when they're cents? Well, is that correct with nickels? Why call them nickels when they're just cents? I don't know. They're interchangeable, aren't they? They are here in the States. They are here in the U.S. I don't even use coins anymore. I mean, I use cash. It's just invisible. All right. Invisible cash. Vlad's Army is also on my painting queue. One combination of Black Hat miniatures with Essex. These guys are almost all Essex. These were figures that I got in a horse trade with the gentleman that I know. I assumed his gender. I'm assuming it's a dude. Hell, I don't even have any female watchers. I'm just going to assume it's a dude. I had some, I think I was in discussions with him on Fanaticus or something like that about, what's the name of that army? Lydians. And I had 2 armies of Lydians worth of figures. And I just making a point that I'm probably never going to get around to doing them. And he's like, well, I really want them. If you want, I'll come up with a trade. And I did an unboxing on this army about a year ago. Maybe it was less than a year. And I gave him my Lydians, and he brought me he's had Wallachians, so the rest is history. Okay, so these are the Saloy type figures. Oh, I said it again. Damn it. Skirmishers. Okay. So there's that. This is the figure that we're going to use for Dracula. Dracula. He's got the Vovod hat. Got a bow and arrow, which is good. I read a historical fiction book on him. You know, it has no vampire crap in it. Just the make-believe conversations that never happened, and you know, all the filler stuff. It's got historical stuff plus filler. Light horse, light horse. This is the general that we're going to use, I think, for the Moldavians. We're going to do the Moldavian army as well. Let's get the Moldavian horse over here. They're knights. No, we found our candidate. Perfect. Let's get these guys out of here. Okay. So, the cavalry stand, which is the Wallachian commander, will consist of Dracula and 2 other figures. The figures I'm going to use are actually minifigs. These are guys I got from Marty, and these are the softer alloy. Now, one of these guys I'm going to modify, probably both of them, one of them for sure. I'm going to take this lance off, and I'm going to put a pen in there so I could do a flag. I don't want to use flags on flimsy lances. And there's a candidate here that has a broken one, so he's perfect. And I got lots of them. I only need 2 of them, so we're just going to call these 2 guys the ones I'm going to use, and move them off to the side. Okay. Okay, so he's good to go. This guy needs to be chopped up. Oh, and I got extra horses here, so they're going to go on Essex horses, too. I don't know where the hell these horses came from. We'll worry about who's on what horse in a second. All right, so let's do a couple things. Let's get my drill bits, which should be here, and my pin vise, which should be here. And this particular one is damn near worthless because it's a Chinese drill that I got before the boycott went into effect. I already knew their stuff was crap, but no, I'm probably going to have to use that one. I got to use something really, really thin that's bigger than his hand. All right, let's see what we got in the pin department. Those are a little too thick. This is probably what I'm going to use for the javelins, for the horsemen. More the same. These may all be too thick. Well, if there's none in the container, there's no point in holding on to that. None of these are particularly thin. I'd like to use one of these for the flag bearer. It doesn't have to be a massive flag. See how this thing scales out. This is about the right size. Looks like it's actually bent. Weird. They all bent? Ever so slightly. That one doesn't look like it. Okay, and before you go any further, where's my big one? Here. Before you go any further and you deal with this, even if I end up not using this, just go ahead and follow the end of this. Save you from drawing your own blood on it. Okay, now we're good to go on that. Now, let's take a look and see. Okay, well, this is thinner than the actual lance that is on there. So it should technically work. All right, let's take this off. All right, and let's go ahead and we can take this off too. I like doing this stuff on figures that I have lots of extras. Not that I've ever needed them, but you know, it's peace of mind. If something was to go sideways, I've got lots of other ones to call upon. Okay. I'm actually not a fan of these. I bought these anyways, but these like round files, I just feel like they scratch the surface too much. I pulled them out because it's kind of time for them to use them, but and I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of taking flash off. I just don't think it's my responsibility. I think the figure company should have kept their molds in better shape. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, and I've done this before, is I'm going to actually leave the post here at the bottom. See, there's a little bit of the lance here left. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I'm not going to try to take all that off so I just have the hand. I'm going to go ahead and drill into this hand to make space to put this guy in, because this is going to help stiffen that hand anyways. And once I punch through the bottom, I can always easily just, just come in and scrape that off. But right now, when you're drilling, luckily this looks like it's actually a soft alloy, so I don't have to put a ton of torque behind it. But sometimes when you're drilling in these things, you'll actually bend the hand unintentionally, and then you've created a different issue. I have a feeling these figures are very, very old. They may be 30 years old. So the alloy isn't. I've noticed I got some older looking figures, and some older figures, and it sure seems like the alloy just isn't holding up. It's almost like deteriorating. It might just be psychologically, but now let's see, does this guy fit on a stand already how he is? Oh yeah. Okay, so he's going to be a minifigs figure on an Essex horse, because I don't have any Essex horses that these guys came with. I mean the minifigs figures these guys came with. And these Essex horses are very dynamic. There are lots of different poses these guys could be in. And I mix and match horses anyway, so big fan of doing that. Adds a little bit of variety. Even if the rider figure is the same, the horse can at least be, in different stages, different poses. All right, I think we got the stuff where we want it. Now, I'm going to take my better X-Acto knife. Don't want a sharper point. And we're going to use this to start the drill bit hole. It's a lot easier to control. Let's put something below it. There we go. And try to find the center. You don't have to go very deep, just to kind of a resting spot. And once you have that, then you can just take this pin vise . Go in. Now let's compare. It's going to be a tight fit, but can I go up a little bit and still be all right? I don't think I'm going to be able to. Because a lot of these drill bits came from this huge set of like 25 that I got, I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that. Chinese set. The problem is every one of the tips is square. Every one of the tips is square. Let's see if we can get away with going up to this one. No, not that. This one. This one. This one's closer to the size of, yeah, now that we got this thing started. I think we can. Except this not drilling at all, because the whole front of this is flat, almost like they broke it off. All right. It's all the stuff you guys don't see in other people's videos. Maybe some people that are painting live and stuff like I am, but None of it is a big deal, you know. We just stopped drilling completely. All right, what do we have that's not square? Those are all way too big. Let's try this one. Need to just replace them, but this is one of these things that I'd want to find the drill bits in person, not buy them through Amazon, because you don't know what you're going to get. Not that I have a problem buying things with Amazon, you just don't know what you're going to get. Well, it's not spitting any material out. All right. Strange. And it's not like the alloy on this is very hard. This one actually looks like it's got a tip on it. I mean, this came in like a 25 drill bit set. It came with a little box and everything. Well, you can tell how useful that box is. It's gone. It was flimsiest thing. It was like trying to pull one out and you pull 6 out and 4 fall on the ground. And it's like, okay, let's get rid of this box before it causes us any more hardship. Okay, this one's pushing some material out. But we're getting somewhere. Let's put this under this so I have it propped up on something. Well, I didn't want to get the flag bearers because I didn't think I needed them. I had so many of these figures that sometimes I didn't want to throw more money at the problem. I think, how deep are we now? Halfway into the hand. Let's go ahead and do this. Should be enough. I don't need to take off more than that. It will pop through and then it'll take care of the rest. That's how it's happened every time. It's not twisting, it's getting stuck. I want to have to drill it from the other side too. I can't get to it very well. They have a high desk relative to our workspace. Yes, absolutely. I found one as tall as I could go. I find myself hunching over more and more as my eyes fade. Is it just low seat, or did you build up a higher platform? No, so the difference is this is about 3 feet high and the seat sits about 18. So I got about 18 inches between the workspace and my seat. And I'd like to get a seat that's even lower. That makes a huge difference. A huge difference. This is actually a desk. It's just a basic desk from IKEA. It was about $90. It has no frills, other than it had legs that were adjustable up. You can twist them. So they're twisted all the way up. It's never going to go lower than that. But that was when I was looking for my new desk, that was definitely it's very important. I wish it was even taller. I wish it was maybe another 3-4 inches taller. So yeah, I'd look for a chair. I guess I could get a chair that's even shorter, but that's important. You need to keep your, because it just keeps you from getting tired from being hunched over. That's not usually what tires me out. What tires me out is just not moving your butt. You need to get up and give yourself a stretch. But that is huge and important. It's about halfway through, and it's going to be big enough for this. Absolutely, it's like the right size. All right, let's just be patient and just work ourselves through with this. And it's not the alloy is too hard. It's just these drill bits suck. Shitty Chinese drill bit. Gets stuck there. All right, let's try something a little different. I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's pull the drill bit out. Let's pretend I never had one of these things. Okay, somebody actually didn't know this either. So take your X-Acto blade, and this top of it is also a pin vise. That's what we used to do in the 80s. When we didn't have money for a pin vise. I'm not buying no $15 pin vise. You're crazy. This seems to be working better. What are we doing on the other end? God, it's almost all the way through. Why is this one being so difficult? You insolent Valakian. Impale this guy. Well, at least it woke me up. I was falling asleep painting the baggage on the camel. Sometimes you gotta mix it up a little bit. Geez, you'd think I was working on those. What are those Polish figures that were made out of melted down T62s? So we used to joke about. Osmi. Beautiful figures. But the alloy is the hardest I've ever seen. It was like the same hardness as the X-Acto knife. You couldn't even clean the flash off of them. All right, we're going to have to go to extreme measures. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Shit, drill bits. Okay, this one's rounded, right? No. Oh boy. This is too big, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's too big. take some of this paint off. Might as well just use this thing. I did for many, many years. Oh, too big now? Lovely. All right. Some people are like, man, how do you have the patience for this? I said, because I don't cook. Yeah, this one's smaller. Let's try this. Got to be real careful. Oh yeah, this one's cutting, but is there going to be a hand left? No. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't use that. Can't use that one. I may have to punt on this one. All right, let's not give up. If you give up, you're never going to win. That's strange. I've done this so many times. I drilled this with harder alloys. The Old Glory guys that I used for my carriage. Every one of those guys are drilled out. Let's try this. Just can't get to it from the bottom. All right, I'm punting. I don't know what I'm going to do on that. I just need drill bits that aren't a piece of shit, that don't have the whole front of them flat. That's all it would take. It's not like that alloy is really hard. Okay, we're going to punt on that guy. Shit happens. Actually, never had that happen before. Oh. All right. So we need 6 of these guys. So let's split these guys up again. Let's see. This is a pose. We did this last night. We'll do it again. He's got a little hat with a feather in it. This guy is, I believe, unique. This particular figure. He is the same as this one. These two are the same. These two are the same. This guy is the same as him, but a different shield. This guy has a sword, so he's unique. And this guy is the same as this one. I thought I had 2 guys with feathers on them. Could be wrong. Okay, so we're going to use him. One of these. One of these. The sword. A thrower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one guy, it's a repeat. is this guy with the tossing thing? We're going to use a tosser. All right, I got to use the restroom. I'll be right back to clean these guys up and put something in their hand. All right. See if I can find some drill bits that are civilized, not uncivilized drill bits. All right. Let's use the good one. Oh, this is the good one. Okay, well, so much for that. Essex tend to be a softer alloy for whatever reason. Which I'm actually not a fan of. It doesn't seem to have a lot of flash on them though. These guys are always problems as far as sitting on their base correctly. Okay, this guy's pretty well balanced. All right, so he's all right. And I'm probably not going to cut this thing off of his foot until I've got him mounted on the stand he's going to end up on. Right? I mean, how flimsy is he? Maybe he's all right. Okay. This is the army of mustaches. If you have a mustache, you'll fit right at home in this army. There's other ones, there's armies of beards. 1:45 a.m., time to call it a night. Good night. All right, Dirk. See you. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, the height on the desk is huge. It's huge. It was the big reason I got another desk. I was just getting hunched over too much. And you still hunch over a little bit, but it's not like before. Not like before. And it's not like you're asking for an extreme height. Now, I did look at those desks that are adjustable. They're like almost $1,000. And once I find the right adjustment, it's not like I need to change it all the time. I'm not going to paint standing up. I don't think that they're stable enough. This desk is extremely, doesn't move. So that's important. And I didn't want to spend a fortune on it. It's just a piece of furniture that just sits there. It just sits there. But I'm really protective of it. I don't want it to have dings or paints or anything like that. I don't like the distraction of that. Okay, that guy's done. Yeah, this guy's leaning to port. Okay. Not too bad in the flash department on these figures. As I find more flash. What do we got here? Getting ready for a game. I'll see you later. Enjoy your weekend. You too, man. Getting ready for a game. That's good. Wish I could game on the weekends. Then I wouldn't get anything else done on a weekend, though. So maybe that's not so good. And people wake up too late. I'd be like, all right, let's game. We'll start at 6 a.m. Oh, it's too early. I got to sleep till 9. Well, shit, the day's over by then. Right? It's not even 9 yet. This guy's going to be hard to get balanced because he's going to want to fall forward if he doesn't fall to the sides. Just has to be close so when we glue him, we're not fighting all kinds of... There we go. Found him. That's the one and only, right? Or there's two of them? Oh, there's two of them. Is it the same horse? It is. Oh, it's like this horse got its legs squashed. That's what it is. Oh. Interesting. Well, it's the same horse, but this horse's legs broke off. I think I'm going to replace him. I don't want problems down the road. I don't want problems down the road. That's a shame. Because I like this pose better than the other ones where he's like, hey, take a look at this Take a look at this spear. Take a look at this lance. I could just glue it, but that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, he's not even holding on to the front two legs. Let's glue this guy. Let's glue this guy. Look at all this adversity we've had today. And the Turks haven't even attacked these guys, and they already have this kind of adversity. Sandwiched between the Hungarians and the Turks, and they're still having issues. Okay, perfect. Just let this guy sit over there. Ah, 1 second. Is she in the back room? Okay. Let's see. This guy, which is his cousin. This one, we're not going to take that piece off the horse back here at the bottom. It's close enough to the bottom that when I put the ground coverage, it's not going to look like there's an attachment point there. It's different when one of the horse's legs that's on the extremities isn't attached to the base. But when you're talking about one of the main legs, like that one guy was, that's a bit much. That's asking for something to go sideways. It doesn't have much flash at all. Okay. And the last guy here with the sword. I'm going to leave that one attached just for good measure. Flash on the sword, of course. Flash on the saber, I should say. Yes. I'm coming. I'm coming to you. 1 second, folks. let's see if we can get these guys these javelins glued down. Quickly saw this on a quick browse through Amazon. What is it? Yeah, there's no stores to buy. I like Amazon. I just wish there was a filter. Like, I don't want any Chinese shit. You know? Don't show me any Chinese crap. I'm not going to buy it. It could be from Taiwan. Okay. I think we got these guys all where we need them to. Now, let's pick. These are close to the size we need to do. Let's grab 6 of these, and hopefully we don't poke ourselves, because here you got to be careful. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Look at this. This has never been used before. Look at this curvy joker. That's crazy. And I think these are made in Malaysia. Uh-oh. Gonna have to have WGS Studio get on their ass. Just a fluke. Steel. Yep. All right, so let's take all these guys and let's just make sure the tips aren't gonna puncture somebody. That's all it takes. Doesn't take much. So these guys are equipped with shields, sidearms in the form of a sword, and a bow and arrow. But only one javelin. Well, they might have other javelins, but the figure's only pictured with one javelin. These guys are actually considered light horse superior. So, these guys have a strange name for themselves. Start with a V. Vitej? What are they? They're like minor nobility guys. Really minor guys. 465. They're called Viteji. Oh, boyars and Viteji, so it's both. Okay. The boyars were the nobility. Initially wearing beehive-shaped lynx fur cap, long hair and mustache. Of course they had a mustache. A long woolen coat over a striped tunic and long riding boots, armed with bow, curved sword, sometimes a light lance, and a round or winged rectangular extended to the point of left top shield. Viteji, strongmen, were former peasants promoted to the gentry who fought as horse archers, probably dressed more like the foot. Okay, so these are technically, I guess, maybe they're lances. Maybe they're lances and not javelins. All right, well, in which case, we'll just take the tips off and we'll make them this length, because that'll be about right. Well, he won't get one, so I just wore one down for no reason. Let's see. Yeah, I think if we just take the tip off of this would be about the right length. This would be about right. Okay. Now, it works okay in this pose. Now what about this one? This is a weird pose here. We'll anchor this so it's touching some part of this thing, so it's not just floating out here in the middle of the air. Actually, it should probably be like this. Attached down there. Okay. Is that this pose as well? This guy has the same thing going on. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. We just got to take the backs of these. So let's get the old industrial type snips. It should be over here. Oh, come on. I don't use this for anything else. Here we go. These things are older than dirt. Just going to take the end of this off. And I'm going to take the backs off just so they could have burrs and cause issues. And then this guy will just sit like so. Okay? That's one. We're only going to do 5. Close your eyes when you do that. Should be wearing safety glasses, not for that. Not doing any risky stuff. I actually do have safety glasses. What was I doing with them? I was doing something. Maybe when I was drilling things out. Yeah, this one's really burr-like. There we go. 3. Yeah, look at the end of this. See if we can make this out. Look at that, that's nasty. We gotta take that stuff off. There we go. It's still got a burr on it. One more. I don't know how the hell I have 7 out here. Some guy can't count. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take these 2. Put them back in the container. Where'd my mouse go? Ah, there's a new tournament with 3D bot maker. Yeah, to check that out today. All right. We're going to go ahead and glue these guys on the roundels first. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. And then there's always a little bit of glue left over. So you just take the bottom of this just takes that little bit off. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to glue these boogers down. Why do you not do this one? I think I did it. Might not do it very much. Alright, let's get our super glue. That's what I use to glue these guys down with. Alright, this is the bumpiest one, so I want to get the guy that has that's the least incorrigible. This guy's not bad. Okay. Just because the base is wobbly, like one way or another, you can always set it so that it's forward and back and it's not wobbly in that direction. Aha! Okay. God, it's a horrible sound. I hate hearing that. Okay, so this is where we're at. I'm actually going to let these guys set a little bit before we go, and I'm going to epoxy these guys in. I'm not a fan of super glue using metal on metal. It's here because it's temporary. We'll pop that stuff off, but this is where we're going to stop. How long have we been on here? Almost 3 hours, so yeah. Anyhow, these things take time, but you know, that whole work on something an hour every day, you know, it's going to take you a long time to get through things. So, okay, well, hopefully, guys, thanks for coming by, and we'll catch you guys next time. And thanks for popping your head in here. See you, folks. Bye-bye.